6 games
right now
over,
looking like the second team, nipping at the Dodgers, and then again, whoever can pull out the Central and hopefully add a few more wins. I'd say the Cubbies would like to still, they'd like to win, 25 more games still.
Yeah.
They'd like to get themselves up to
90.
They probably 88. They're thinking they got to win 87 or 88.
Yeah.
Be like 6 games over 500 at least to win that division. And who knows? We'll see. The Cardinals are playing the Padres for 3 nights, then they go play the Nationals in interleague. No, somebody else in interleague, and then they play the.
And so it looks like Strasburg is.
Yeah, what is the story on that guy?
He was injured like 2 months ago. He's coming back. He's doing some rehab right now. Coming back right now.
All right, so
let's check out his stats this year. I wonder.
Technically, he would be available then for. Yeah. Because so far their play has earned them.
They're going to be hot. I mean, he really is a good pitcher.
They're 14 ahead of the Marlins, and the Marlins at 2 under 500. They've won 7 out of 10. But if they did that again for their next groups of 10, they're just not going to catch the Nationals. Because the Nationals will keep winning, though maybe not as much, but they will keep winning.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think they'll take a slight dip with Bryce out, but I mean, they're already so solid. Like we were saying, they got Daniel Murphy, who I think was number 2 in MVP voting last year, and then they got Zimmerman, who's batting like 350,000 pretty much.
Zimmerman has been so consistent off and on over the years. Besides, 1 year he was kind of hurt. That's the only year he didn't have these great offensive numbers that he's had for years, right?
Yeah, see, this is Strasburg's down year, and he's 10-4 with a 3.2 ERA.
See, that's pretty good for National League, the 3. Because even the National League that usually has the lower ERAs, this year, I don't know. Other than Kershaw. Maybe Kershaw's at 1, still under 2.
Yeah.
But no one else is. I mean, anything that's under 3, anything that's around 3 is pretty good because the league's been hitting.
Yeah, see, Kershaw right now is 2.04. Scherzer's 2.25.
I was going to say Scherzer. So
Gio Gonzalez, another National.
We forgot about the third guy, who's a pretty solid guy.
He's number 3 in ERA. Oh, Wood, man. The pitcher for LA is 2.41. Yeah.
Well, again, that's why they're still.
Yeah. Well, he's at 14-1, too. That's going to be a big miss. It's lucky it's only 10 days.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, you got to.
Then see, it's interesting because this is just the National League.
Strasburg's 11th in ERA. They have 3 of the top 11 ERA.
No, where's the first Cub at? See, the Cubs need their offense because they've been letting up
Arrieta, 3.63. Oh, yeah, that's good, but not for your best pitcher.
No,
and let's see where the next guy is.
Lester.
Quintana at 4.27. That's really nice.
This is the guy they traded for.
Lester at 4.37. Yeah.
Yeah. See, Lester again is not having what the year he had last year.
No,
because Arrieta was not having the year last year that he'd actually had the year before when he won the Cy Young. Yeah.
But you had Kyle Hendricks last year.
But we had Kyle Hendricks last year. Well, look him up.
Yeah, what the hell's he doing, huh?
I don't know if this is getting too boring for the. We've been going on a good run for a while. So.
No, it's all right. Honestly, this is like a lot of times it'll be like an hour to 2. It don't matter. Like we're in good shape. Anybody who doesn't want to listen to it can turn it off at any point.
That's true.
They're not required. They don't owe me shit.
I know. I'm just starting.
It is when we're looking things up, though. I'm sure that is a little bit more boring.
No, and I'm trying to think of other things here to make comment on. But no, I just the Brewers are not what they were when they seemed good early.
Games. 4-4, 3.5 ERA. I mean, it's a decent ERA.
Okay, he's been gone.
Yeah, but he's only pitched 17 games.
Any talk about him coming back, or is he out for the season?
Let me see if we can get some news on his ass here.
Yeah. Well,
gracias.
I think that certain things are just decided. I mean, meaning that the AL West, nothing to watch there. The Astros have got it.
Yep.
But Yankees and the Red Sox are the fun show to watch. As will be the Cubs in there. So we do have some good contentions going on. But the Nationals and the Dodgers have sewed it up. I mean, again, you can watch the Marlins if you want to think they're going to go on some big win streak and pull into 8 or 6 games behind the Nationals, but they would have to win, They would have to win so many games to even get close to the wild card numbers.
Yeah.
That's the Marlins being
let's
second
see the NL.
the National.
Let's look at the wild card. I was actually going to talk about AL wild card for a second. But,
Oh, yeah, we could.
but yeah, you're right. Like, let's see. We're at Miami, 6.5 back in the wild card. Really, it's either Milwaukee, St. Louis, or the two teams you are talking about. But what is interesting, the AL is
let's hear
so
about
the Yankees are pretty, unless they blow it, they're in. They're 2.5 above Minnesota for the second place.
Okay.
But Minnesota's only a half game above LA, the
Yep.
Angels.
Okay.
And they're only a game above Seattle, a game and a half above Kansas City, 2 games over Texas, 3.5
Yeah.
over Baltimore. But basically, there's 5 teams within 2 games of the second spot,
Which
in
is
the AL,
interesting.
and all of them have holes. I mean, honestly,
Oh,
if
you
I had to
kidding?
pick, I would say Seattle or Kansas City is the best of those teams. And they're
The Angels, I mean, do you think they'll hold on?
I don't know.
They were, lately, Trout's back a little
yeah,
bit.
and well,
doing
Trout,
stuff.
of course, is good, but and Pujols and
Their
they can
pitching
hit.
sucks.
Their pitching's terrible, exactly. So, and Minnesota, I'm not entirely positive how they're winning.
I don't even know how they're 4 games over.
Yeah,
500, to be
me
really
either.
honest with you.
Oh, I
don't.
agree. I don't know how they're a better team than Baltimore.
And the Royals,
Or Toronto.
they're stalling out. They'll never. They're not gonna. They're gonna stay right at 500.
Yeah,
As
that's
most
probably
they
true.
can do.
It's probably either Seattle or
Cleveland.
Minnesota.
Cleveland's 8-2 in their last 10 too.
But the
So
whole point
Cleveland's
is any one of these
starting
teams, even Texas, who just traded Yu Darvish, is now up to 500, and they're 2 games out of the wild card. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
gosh, you're right. They're only 1 game behind the Mariners
Yeah.
and a game and a half behind the Angels,
Yeah.
in just in standings.
Yeah. So
Now
it's
the
like
A's are out of it.
they're done. Yeah.
The Athletics.
And even Baltimore, like Baltimore and Tampa Bay, 3.5, 4 game. Obviously,
Yeah.
you'd have to get hot. But in Tampa Bay, I have no idea how they won any games ever either.
No, me neither.
They've only won 2 of their last 8.
No, I can't even. Yeah, they're not playing great, so that's too bad because they're going to be playing the Cardinals later on by next weekend. Who I need to see someone beating the Cardinals, but maybe they'll come back. So, in conclusion, yes, I think the Yankees are definitely because right now they're 4.5 back, yet both them and the Red Sox are 6-4 in their last 10 games, which means neither team's bad, and the Yankees even survived two of those losses
Yeah.
of their 4.
Against Boston.
But they're still 4.5, and I think the Red Sox have been unusually hot for a long period.
I can agree.
I'm just thinking
No,
we'll
I
see
can
in the
agree.
next
Pomeranz is like
as we
what's
get
the
into
Pomeranz?
Labor Day weekend. By then, if the Yankees can keep up their winning aside from that they don't play Boston again they do one more time soon.
Oh, Jesus, look at this. So I guess talking about playoff teams, Danny Salazar just got put on the DL as well for Cleveland.
Oh, wait a
and
minute.
Armstrong.
He's
or,
a Salazar
Andrew
a
Miller.
pitcher?
Yeah, he's their,
Yeah.
one of their starters. And Andrew Miller, the guy
They
who-
just got him back, I thought.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's back. He's going back to the DL.
Oh no, they just took him off Thursday or Friday. Something like that.
No, Tuesday, prior to today. Yeah, just a minute ago, 44 minutes ago, Andrew Miller and Danny Salazar were both
Oh my
placed
gosh.
on the 10-day TL.
Well, good thing they're 5.5 up right now.
Right? You got to hope so. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
unfortunate there for them. They're obviously going to win it, but they're not
Get
going
up
to be
here,
able to.
man.
No, we're actually we're doing something here real quick, but we'll be done in a second. And Candace is here. Here at the studios, Candace, our wonderful coffee getter.
How about this cool rookie tracker thing I'm looking at?
Okay, who are the rookies?
Well, it's the two that where everybody wants to talk about, man. You got the AL versus the NL right there. Aaron
Cody.
Judge, Cody Bellinger, home runs, max
37.
distance, 37.
For Judge.
And he's obviously slumped. He had 31 at the All-Star break or something. And how about the fucker Giancarlo Stanton, huh? 7 straight games.
This guy now, how's he got? 43?
Giancarlo, let's look him up.
Let's look him
He's,
up because
I want to say 45. I think he's on pace for 60. He's
wait,
the first.
because you're right. I knew it was 42, and thinking back, that must have been Friday or something that I thought the last I saw that.
He hit home
Stats.
runs in what was it, like 7 straight games? And he's the first player. I actually saw this the other day on ESPN. He's the first player since 2002, which was A-Rod, to hit 12 home runs in back-to-back months.
Yeah.
So 12 home runs back, and this month's still got 8 days left in it. But first person since A-Rod 15 years ago. 15
No kidding.
years.
Are
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's 45 home runs, 97 RBI, batting 286. I mean,
Oh, man.
that's not bad.
I'm trying to look at a little news here to see if there's anything else. Well, the Mets are getting David Wright back in time for their last terrible, torturous month.
Yeah, that's important. It's important for that. Honestly, it's pretty sad how
No.
they were in the World Series 2 years ago, and
Who's this?
they looked really promising.
Yeah. No, I know.
It's
That's
unfortunate what's
they
happening to
knocked
the
the
Mets.
Cubs out the year the Cubs weren't even supposed to be that close.
Oh, well, talking about how pitching gets you to the World Series, you got Thor, Jacob deGrom.
Yeah.
Who else was pitching for him that year?
Yeah, no, and let's think. They had
R.A.
the one
Dickey.
guy, Dickey, and they had who was the other guy? Oh, anyway, wait a minute. Oh, they're ragging on. Sorry, I just had to look this up. What
right.
slumping stars need to be benched in the pennant races?
Oh, who are they
The
saying?
first one is Ben Zobrist.
Yeah.
Boy, we forgot to mention that, but we don't need to stick it on Cubs. The second one is
Hanley.
Hanley Ramirez. And
He had a home run the
This is
other
kind
night.
of fun. The third one is Alex Gordon of the
The Royals.
Kansas City Royals, who also, I think they showed that the Dodgers also still have, don't they have a Gordon? Or is that
The Dodgers?
yeah.
I'm not entirely sure.
Let me see where I found this. Just before I went into this, it said something about. It says the Nationals are getting healthy, and now comes the hard part. Oh, in the middle, yes, this is the Royals. In the middle of a $72 million deal, Alex Gordon is the worst offensive player in the major leagues. So, folks,
terrible.
baseball has a way of making executives go great.
Right.
And then again, the lesson is, why do you pay a guy? You can't. He got to be more than a base stealer and a potential great all around. You got to get a guy who's a producer.
Yeah.
But that's just quick opinion from
Well,
me.
the thing is, though, I mean, to be able to do that in Kansas City, no big namers. Bryce Harper's not going to go to Kansas City as a free agent. You know what I mean?
No.
Or so like you kind of have to just keep the guys you have and hope you draft well and hope you make good trade. And they won a World Series. And let's give it up to the Royals, man. They won a World Series based on relief.
Big
pitching.
wave. Thank you.
Based just on relief pitching, essentially. Remember how what they did is they had during the set they would pitch the 7th, 8th, and 9th with those good 3 relief pitchers, and so
You're
they would
right,
only
you're
need
right.
6 innings out of their starters, and then they were untouchable for 3 innings.
Well,
But that was the only way that it was going to work for them because they're never going to.
that was the who? The Royals?
The Royals, 2
Yeah,
years
that's
ago.
that
They played the
again.
Mets.
That was like, how in the hell both those teams, you didn't know how they got there. Other teams seemed better.
It was pitching.
The Cubs weren't really supposed to be ready, but it seemed to
Yeah.
me even when we got to the series, they'd
More
have been more
talented.
fun to watch
Yeah.
with these guys that had come up at the end of that 15 season. But you're right. I remember watching the Royals knock out the Angels, and just because at times I liked the Angels. My dad used to have season tickets toward the ends of his days, and down there, and so I would have. And then I couldn't believe how they ended up beating the Angels by some weird late home run,
Yeah.
and the fact that those pitchers had kept them from being.
You can't hit on them. I mean,
Yeah.
that was it. And honestly, the same thing happened with the Cubs last year. Not only was it their starting pitching, they got Aroldis and Andrew Miller at the end of the year, which took 2 innings off the game. Especially with Aroldis, but with Andrew Miller as well. He was an underrated factor as far as.
Was that the Indians that ended up with Miller though for their
you're right.
playoffs?
You're right.
But the Cubs had a really good
Cubs
setup
had
guy.
yeah,
They
the
had a
Cubs
great
had,
who had been their guy before they got
yeah.
at the end before they got
Well, see, I
Aroldis.
just look like an asshole. But
If I knew how to
No, but-
look that up immediately, I would on
the
mine.
Cubs had a great setup guy. Oh, you're exactly right. And Aroldis was obviously unhittable.
Yeah.
But you are right. The same thing worked out for the Indians with Andrew Miller. They did the same thing with him. Just made sure you couldn't hit him with the starting. That's what it was. The Indians starting pitching and relief pitching, and the Cubs starting pitching and relief pitching. Essentially,
yeah.
that's what's going to happen this year. Well, I'm telling you right now. This year, if Kershaw's healthy, maybe the Dodgers. Otherwise, I'm taking Washington. If Strasburg is healthy, I like. It's going to be pitching, and then it's going to be
Yeah, we don't know, do
Boston
we?
or
Whether
Cleveland?
Kershaw
Cleveland or
will be the
Boston, man.
same Kershaw,
No, we
even
don't
though
know.
he seems